Hi guys, welcome to a new knitting podcast. My name is Claudia and welcome here on the knitted journey. And today I want to update you on the projects I've been working on these last couple of weeks. I have the feeling I haven't knit quite a lot, all that much to be honest, but when I collected everything here, it's enough, I think. And in a couple of days I'm leaving for my holiday in Spain. I'm going there for just lying on the beach, knit on the beach, knit at home, and just relax a lot. And I'm so excited. We're in the north of Spain, so I believe there will be a heat wave next week, but it isn't in the 43 degrees, fortunately. So yeah, I want to show you the update before Spain, and hopefully I will finish or film something when I'm on holiday, and I can show you that in a couple of weeks. So yeah, let's just start with what I'm wearing right now. And some of you maybe have seen this before in my previous podcast, but now I can officially say it is finished. This is my first finished object, and this is my Tolsta tee, my second Tolsta tee. I'm a huge fan of this pattern, as you can tell later on in this episode. But yeah, last time I believe I just had to do the sleeves, and I just had to do like the red stripe and a couple of rows on pink, and everything else was finished. But this is it in full glory. So this is the Tolsta tee by the Creabea, or Rebecca Clone, and she released this in May, I believe, and I already made a black one with linen yarn, and it has eyelet details. And this is my second one, as I said, and this has the big chunky stripes. Like her example, she made in hot pink and orange, and that's still on my wish list to make, but I'm bumping it up to next year. But yeah, so as you can see, mine is really cropped, because this is the button band. My belly button is here. By the way, I'm really short. I'm 160 centimeters, so you can figure that out. It's really short. So my tops I knit usually quite cropped, because otherwise I had to make another full pink stripe, and then it just hits like the part I don't want it to hit. Like, my hips are the widest part of my body, and I want to accentuate my waist, of course. So yeah, it's cropped and it's nice, wide and oversized. Most of you probably know that about me as well. I like my clothing to fit really loosely and casual and flowy, and with a lot of positive ease. So I think I made a size 4, but I casted on 8 stitches less on the neckband and increased in the first row. Am I saying that correctly, or did I do that on another Tolsta? I'm not sure yet anymore. I think this ended up being probably a size 4, or maybe a little bit bigger as well. Probably, it's been a while since I casted this on. I casted on the amount of stitches for a size 3 or 4, and then increased a lot more under the arm, because this is like a short sleeve t-shirt, and I'm quite hot easily, and I want this to be airy and not tight under my armpits, because then I will hate wearing this. So it's nice and breezy. I made the sleeves a little bit longer than my previous one, and most of it had to do with the stripes. To make it even, I had to make it this length. But I've talked about this project in my previous podcast, so if you want to know more, go check that out. I believe I used needle size 5, just according to the pattern. And the yarn that I used is, for the red stripes, this is Drops Cotton Merino. And the pink stripes are two yarns held together. The first one is bamboo blend. I believe it's cotton, bamboo and something else by Go Handmade, and it's called their bamboo double. And I'll mention everything down below. You can read it here. And I held it together with Lan Grossa Setasuri, I believe it's called. So it's a Suri alpaca yarn, and that makes it quite a little bit hotter, I think, unfortunately. But the bamboo yarn was too thin, so I couldn't get gauge with that. But I really love the color combination of soft pink and bright red, and this is like a true bright red. And I'm a real big pink lover, and I really like the soft pink. But as you can see, it kind of washes me out a little bit. It's not really a true color for me, but I like it, so what the heck. I will wear this. And most of the time I will wear my hair down, and it will break it up a little bit. But I don't mind that it's close to my skin color. It's just a neutral. Let's keep it at that. I'm really happy with this. It grew quite a bit, so I have to say when I knitted this, it wasn't as loose and oversized as it is right now, but the yarn grew because there's a lot of cotton in here. And as you can see maybe by the pleats, I put in an elastic in the neck band here in the ribbing, because it already grew and it sagged a lot, and I don't like the big wide waist or neckline that the pattern has. That's the one thing I don't really like about the pattern, because I like my t-shirts to have like a high neck, and then I can drape my necklaces on top of that. But yeah, she designed it as a summer piece or spring summer piece, so that's why probably it has quite a wide neckline. But I put on the elastic a little bit too hard. It's a little bit too tight, so it folds over here. Maybe I will do it again, or maybe I will just wait until the elastic stretches it out a bit and it will fall naturally. So yeah, I don't know what else I can say about this. Just because I've shown you it in my previous podcast, I really like this. I like the bold, bright colors, and yeah. So that is my first finished object. Next finished object I want to show you is something completely new. Just felt like starting that. I believe I filmed my last podcast 3 or 4 weeks ago. So in the meantime, it is enough time for me apparently to finish a whole thing. And it was something that was not on my summer knitting plans or inspiration list, although I had it in mind a little bit, but I thought it isn't really me, it doesn't suit me, it's cool, but not for me. But then I just bought a pattern and I wanted to make it. Let's show. This is the Look at My Holes from Janes and Butts. And yeah, this is it. I will try it on in a little bit. And I started this because I looked at all my summer yarns, and I had already saved or moved some yarns I want to bring with me on holiday, because I'm going for 4 weeks, so I want to bring a lot of yarn. And I was browsing like, what do I want to make next? And I saw some skeins I have I had left from my first Tolsta tee, the black one with the eyelet details, and I made that in a black linen yarn from Lan Grossa. It's Solo Lino, from whatever it's called, you can look it up. But it's 100% linen yarn or viscose linen, and I had 4.5 skeins left, and I just felt inspired to make this cute top with that. And I was initially inspired to make this, I believe, a couple of months ago when I saw it. High Fiber Knits, Emily from High Fiber Knits made look at my holes, and she talked about making it more oversized, going a size up, and to have a more casual fit. And I really like that, because the look at my holes, if you don't know it, it's meant to be with zero ease or really a little ease. So it's tight fitting, short sleeves, high neck, and really cropped. So it's quite an edgy, funky piece. But if you look at all the projects on Ravelry or on Instagram, you can see that a lot of people made so much different garments out of it. I've seen long sleeves and long wide sleeves. I've seen like full length, probably a dress in between there, tight fitting, and on men, on women. Like, everyone can make their own version of this, and that's what's so cool about this pattern. This is the first time for me knitting lace in a garment, although that's a lie. I already started another project with lace, but that was the one I will show you that I kept frogging, so I wanted to something else. This is the first time I made a lace repeat. It's an 8-row lace repeat, and it was so addicting to make. I really love lace. It was the first time, as I said. I only made the Penelope kerchief that you can see in my previous podcast, and I'm in love with lace knitting. And I like this all over lace. It's really modern. I'm gonna put it on because the lighting is difficult. So yeah, be right back. So this is my look at my holes when I have it on. So I'm wearing just a plain black bralette underneath this. And as you can see, I succeeded in having a lot of positive ease and have it loose and wide fitting. I also made it quite cropped, not as cropped as the previous top I showed you. But yeah, I played some yarn chicken with this one. I believe I had like maybe not even 10 inches of yarn left. So I won, but I made it as long as I could with my yarn. So this is a basic raglan construction. Or like basic, it's not a basic top, but it's a raglan construction. I believe I made the size 2XL. Yes, and I was hesitant between XL and the 2XL to choose, because my normal size would probably be like a large or medium to large, and I wanted to be really oversized. And I saw that the difference between the extra large and the 2XL was the amount of repeats in the yoke. So it had the same amount of stitches to cast on, and it would be basically the same until about here, and then I had to choose which size to make. But for the under the arm and like the end of the yoke, the pattern stops like at the end of the row repeat. As I said, 8 rows, and 8 rows is like 2 holes here. So if I didn't make the extra large but just the XL, I believe it would be a lot smaller. It would have been a lot tighter under my arms, and a positive ease as well. And I really love how this turned out. I'm so happy with this. I'm such a fan of this pattern. I want to make it in another color just because it's so much fun to make. Don't know if I'm going to wear this a lot, but I'm going to test that out. So yeah, it's the same linen yarn, which has a wonderful drape. It is quite heavy, but that's with plant-based fiber, the case. And I did a little bit of sleeve, not even a repeat on the sleeve, but just I think 1 or 2 rows and then the ribbing. And it's a lot longer than the pattern says. And I think I originally started the ribbing here because I was afraid I didn't have enough yarn, and then it turned out I had well, enough for like 4 rows. And I did that and started ribbing, and then I thought, no, I still have enough yarn. So I made it really as long as it could be. But yeah, I really like how this turned out. With this yarn, I don't use the Italian bind off. That's just so much of a hassle because the yarn is really tough and it doesn't slide all that well between all the stitches. So this is the, I believe, someone's magic, surprisingly stretchy bind off. I don't know what the name of that is. But when you knit in stitch patterns, so knit 1, purl 1, and then knit 2 together, and it becomes really stretchy. But you have, what can happen is that it flows out a little bit because it's so stretchy. So once every couple of knit stitches, I did just a regular cast off. So knit 1 and then pull the stitch over the other. If you know how to bind off, you know what I'm talking about. Can't make sense, but don't mind fixing it. I'm sorry. So yeah, this is my new finished objects, but really new project. I really love this. Yeah, just one more peekaboo. It's going in my suitcase because this would be perfect as a beach cover-up. And over my bikini and a little cute shorts. Although I have to walk to the beach and I'm afraid I will be way too hot with this color being so high. Like normally I like it this high. I intended this, but when it's like 32 degrees and I'm walking to the beach, I don't know if I want this. But at least I can make cute photos with it and wear it someday over a skirt maybe. But yeah. I like this. Safe to say, I like this a lot. I'll even keep it on because I'm too lazy to switch back in my other t-shirt. And I think I'm going really quick, but I'm embracing that. I feel like high energy and I need that because, well, let's go ahead. It's all those vacation preps. I don't know if you recognize this, but the couple of days before you leave on holiday, at least for me, I'm a really structured and organized person, or at least I want to be. Otherwise my head is like going crazy with all the thoughts and all the things I have to do. So I've been in full vacation prep mode this couple of days, and there's still a little bit to be done, and I want to edit this video and put it online today or tomorrow because the next day I will leave. Okay, next project is, I'm not sure if I've shown you this. I'm a little bit too lazy to look back at my old video and see if I really did show you this. If I did, I'm sorry. Here it is again. Of course I'm further. I definitely know that I've shown you this yarn, which blows out on screen like crazy, but it's a beautiful pink yarn with all these variegated, like pinks and purple and orange, different shades of pink and speckles of purple. This is wool met Verve. It's a Dutch hand dyer, yarn dyer. And I bought this yarn at the Handwerkbeurs, like a crafts fair in February, I think. And I really love this yarn. It's a basic sock yarn, by the way. So I think 75% merino and 25% nylon. It's not too soft, unfortunately, but I fell in love with the color because I like pink a lot. But I didn't know, I bought 2 skeins, I didn't know what I wanted to do with that. So I started the Ingrid top by Gregoria Fibers, and I know I've shown you that in a video, either my previous podcast or my knitting plans and inspiration video. And I like the Ingrid top a lot. Obviously I've bought the pattern, but I don't think it's the perfect combination with this yarn. And most of it isn't because this yarn is a little bit busy and you have a textured pattern, because it's a sleeveless top with eyelet details. I don't mind the texture and color variations that it will be busy, because I like a busy pink top. But I didn't know what to wear underneath that, because I need like a pink bralette or something like that, which I don't have. And by the way, this is how I would wear this look at my holst top in my free time. But when I'm working, obviously I will put like a black vest top, singlet. I don't know how to say that in English, but I don't want my belly showing when I'm working. It's not professional, but otherwise I would still wear this to work. Don't mind it. But what I'm making with this is my Tolsta tee number 3. So I ended up choosing a pattern with just plain stockinette stitch, and here you can see it. This is the fingering weight version of the Tolsta tee. The other one is like DK, even worsted weight, and with needle size 5. This is for needle size 3.5. And this could be the version that I made. I casted on 8 stitches left on the neckline to make it a little bit more tight, and then increase immediately after. I think I did that, not sure, sorry. So yeah, the yarn up close, this is how it looks. So it's quite, there's a lot happening here. And I'm just using a 1 skeins. I don't have pooling all that much. No, I don't think so. But I have 2 skeins and I have it here. I just need to cake this up. So when I just collected this, it was a good thing, because I really need to cake this up before I'm packing it in my suitcase, because this is going with me. It's going really slow. It is a fingering weight, but it's on 3.5 millimeters, so it should be like okay, but it's hard to see progress, and I need to keep progress trackers with me. So put a stitch marker in it and knit for a bit, and then I can see, oh yeah, it does grow. It doesn't actually stay like the same length all over. So yeah, this is the yarn, and this is how it knits up. So I feel like the skein is a little bit more, yeah, I expected it to be more pink, like this dark and hot pink all over, and it's lighter than I expected it to be, but still a lot of fun. It isn't really soft, but I just want to use this yarn, use it so it doesn't go to waste in my stash, and I don't want to make socks with this, because I have 2 skeins, and I know that from 1 skein I can probably make 2 pairs of socks for myself, because I have tiny feet. So yeah, this is going with me. I haven't touched this, to be honest, in the last 2 weeks, I think, just because I know I want to save this for my holiday, and I don't want to bring like half-finished projects with me, because that's a waste of space in my suitcase. So next time you will see this, I should be beyond the yoke and working on the body, if not finished, because I need to prioritize this, not just because I want to wear this, but I don't want to hate working on this or don't like working on a project. So sometimes I need to suck it up and just work on it a little bit more and prioritize it, and that will be fine. I just love the color, so it should be fine. Yes. So that's it for this project. Next, oh, I see I have 1 finished object. A basic sock. I think I've shown you this in a previous podcast. This is my ankle sock. And this is the first one. I need to cast on the second one. But that is a project in Spain for on the beach, probably. So the yarn is Lan Grossa, hand-dyed, jam, merino. The color I don't know, but I will mention it down below, as I said, and you can look it up. So this yarn comes in skeins of 55 grams. It says 50 on the label, but it is a little bit more actually. And as you can see, it has a fade in it and speckles. And you can tell it here a little bit. The fade starts with purple and then ends with this beautiful teal blue. Is it teal? Don't know. A beautiful blue color. So I already made a sock with like the first more than a half of the skein, I think 30 grams, which starts purple and ends with more blue, like this color, light. And I used 2 skeins for that pair of socks. And the rest of the skein I used for this. And I knew I could make like a full length sock out of it. And I want to use up the yarn as much as possible. So this is like a vanilla sock, which I turned into an ankle sock. This is too wide, too loose, but I will wear this at home. So hopefully it doesn't slide off, and otherwise I need to put an elastic in here. And I think I knitted 3 or 4 rows before the heel flap. And this was also a project of yarn chicken here in the toe. I started the decreases for the toe, and then I soon realized I don't have enough yarn for this. So I took it out and started again a couple of rows back, but I knew it would be too short. But luckily this yarn grows with blocking, and I knew that already. So it ends up being perfect. But I think I had like this much yarn left, which is crazy. But unfortunately, yeah, I'm happy I made it work. And this is the other skein that I've left. So I will start in the middle and work my way to this beautiful color. But this is going with me to Spain. So yeah, next sock is finished. I'm curious to see how much I will wear my home knit socks, wool socks in winter time, because I started knitting socks like since this year, maybe January, February, and I really like knitting socks from time to time, but I've not worn mine like a lot. Like I've made 3 or 4 pairs of socks and I've barely worn them, and I had to put myself on working on this, because I had started this and it was just in a little project bag, and it went with me like to the dentist and to work, and everywhere I had to wait for a bit. So it progressed really slowly, knitted a bit in the car, and then I just was stuck around half of the foot. And I knew I wanted to bring that other yarn with me on holiday. So I needed to finish this so I know how long it should be and everything. And then it was done in the night. So it's like crazy. I need to prioritize socks sometimes a little bit more, because I love making them. And I really want to make socks with color work, or like the cuff and the heel and the toes in a different color. But I'm just too lazy. I want one skein, just plain vanilla, or maybe a broken rib stitch, and that's it. So I want to, I don't know, find my style of socks, maybe a little bit. So, talked way too long about that. Next, a project I've shown you, and it probably looks the same as I did before, but there is something to tell you about that. This is the beginnings of the home cardigan by Ozetta, which is a drop shoulder V-neck cardigan with the button band immediately knitted at the same time, and a button band is a rib. And this is the back panel. And as you can see, this is a tweed yarn. And the yarn is from Phildar. It's called Berlingot Tweed coloré. And the brown speckles are tweed. It's not dyed, it's actually like texture, fiber. And this is the front panel, the right front panel. So this is where I am with the button band over here. And this is probably the same point where it was last time, but I came to the realization like pretty soon after filming my last podcast that it was way too big. I felt like it would be way too big. I'm making a size small and I did that. So I haven't said it, but I frogged the whole thing, unraveled it and started again. And I made the size small just to account for the fabric growing, because this yarn is, I believe, cotton, viscose, and something else. It's really soft. It's really soft to the touch, and I probably will wear lovely. But I think it will grow because it's mostly cotton yarn. And so I counted for that and I chose size small because this pattern calls for a positive ease of 20 centimeters. Well, even for me, 20 centimeters of positive ease is quite a lot. And if it will grow even more than that, it will be like hilarious, like a joke. I like it when it falls like here, but I'm afraid the cardigan will fall like this. So you have a sleeve and then the body starting here and it will be cropped. So I was afraid it would be out of proportion. And the pattern calls for needle size 4.5 millimeters. I already knitted it in 3.5, but it still went way too big and I could have sized down. But I also felt I could make the gauge a little bit more small, a little bit smaller, tighter. And now I'm like on gauge with pattern and I'm working on size 3 millimeters. So it ended up being a fingering weight project. Didn't intend it because it's a DK weight project, but that's just the yarn. Although the yarn feels more like a light DK weight yarn, I think it's 125 meters for a 50 gram skein. So that is just DK, maybe light DK. But I like how the fabric turns out. I like the gauge and I think sizing will be okay. Like if I put it wrong side, so this is like the shoulder portion and right now this comes here. And this is the underarm and it comes over the half of my body. So if you have the other half as well attached to this, it will grow a little bit. I think it will be nice. Not a lot of positive ease, but maybe that's okay. Just better safe than sorry. And I'd rather start again than having a cardigan finished and feel like it's like 4 sizes too big. And I didn't want that. That's the issue, like, right? Choosing when to oversize or really oversize like this or when not to. So this I had to start again, hence why I feel like I haven't that much projects, like progress. And yeah, I have 2 things to show you and then some new yarn. This is a project I talked about with 3 attempts, maybe 4. And this is one of the new yarns that I talked about last time. This is Sandnes garn Tynn Lina. And this is so soft and lovely. It's 53% cotton, 33% viscose and 14% linen. So it's called Linea, linen yarn, but it's only 14%. And 50 grams skein is approximately 220 meters. I really love this color. It's a soft, dusty, greenish color. And it has I feel like it has a little bit of white in the center of it. But maybe that's just a light bouncing off of it. As you can see, it has a nice sheen. And what I'm making with this is the Barbroe top by, I want to say Knitting for Olive. The designer is someone else. I will mention her down below. But it's sold by Knitting for Olive. And when I first saw that this pattern was coming out, before it came out, and I saw pictures of testers, I was in love. It's a beautiful, beautiful all over lace pattern. It's a sleeveless top with just like a lower neckline and some wider straps. And the lace pattern reminds me a little bit of shells. And it has a scalloped edge on the bottom. I'll probably tuck mine in, as you know, but I love that detail. And this is what I have so far. So you can see the scalloped edge. And I don't know if you can see the lace repeat because I'm filming on my phone and it's not all that great up close. But I just have like one repeat of the lace done. Yeah, and this is also a story with sizing. This is a bottom up, by the way. First time knitting bottom up. Don't like that. That's the first thing I can tell you. I like to try my stuff on the go, see how it fits. And when you're knitting top down, you can most of the times with the yoke see how it fits and maybe add a couple of rows, especially with raglan, but also with chop shoulder or something. You can cast on more stitches under the arm, for example. And this is a bottom up. So the pattern calls for needle size 3.5, which seems doable for a fingering weight. And the yarn recommended is Knitting for Olive Pure Silk, which is a fingering weight yarn. So I thought this would be a good substitute. Well, it ended up like huge. And I had, I think, maybe 2 repeats done. So it was like double this. And I put it on a Barbie cord and it felt like way too big because this is intended with zero positive ease or maybe negative ease even. I don't necessarily want negative ease. It's okay if it has like an inch of positive ease, but it should feel quite fitted. And I also felt like the stitch pattern was way too loose. So I swatched and I tried again with 3mm and it still felt off. So I bought some new needles because 3mm was the smallest I owned and this is 2.5. And now I'm happy with this. Oh yeah. On the third try, it's hopefully it is it. So this, by the way, is Knit Pro needle from the Mindful collection, and these are lace needles, so they are quite pointy. And this is just with an attached cord. I believe I bought 60 centimeters because that's the easiest with this pattern. And usually I'm using an interchangeable needle set from the Mindful collection. I really like these needles. So yeah, the reason I have not worked on this in a couple of weeks is because I want to bring this with me to Spain, because this doesn't take up a whole lot of space in my suitcase, but should take up a whole lot of time to knit on this. And I really love knitting lace, so I love knitting this as well. And that's why I'm still happy to knit this even after 3 times and knitting the same thing over and over again and cast on more than 300 stitches. It feels crazy, but I'm addicted to this pattern. So I think it should go quite quick for how small needles I'm using, 2.5. But I think it will be lovely and so beautiful. I think it will be so beautiful. So yeah, next time I will have like most of the body done. Hopefully, maybe I have it done. That will be wonderful. And I'm quite late with some of my summer knitting. I started really early with summer knitting, I feel like. And on Instagram, I just saw like a bunch of new sweaters coming out. And in my head, I was already knitting like ready for summer. So I started with tees, or no, I started with 2 sleeveless tops. Then the tees, so a little bit in reverse. And I have this left, but I don't mind if I don't wear this right now. This can be an easy, like a layering piece, I think. And I just want to make this, for me, is like a process knit and not per se a like finished object project knit. That's my needle topper. So yeah, and then I have one summer project I started because I want that to be my car knitting project. We're going by car to Spain. I live in the Netherlands, by the way, so it's 15-16 hour drive, which I'll spend like most of the time sleeping or knitting and eating, and sometimes driving. Yeah. So last thing to show you is the start of Tolsta tea number 4. I already planned this and had the yarn. I talked about this in a previous podcast. I don't feel like I need this in my life right now, but I want to use the yarn because otherwise I'm afraid I don't want to work with this next year, and that would be a waste. And I'll probably have way too much projects with me to Spain. But this is the normal DK worsted weight version, so it will go pretty quick. And I just casted this on like yesterday, I think. So I have the setup and the German short rows shaping done. And now I can just knit mindless in the car and just keep track on the increases in the yoke. So another colorful project. I'm really curious to see how this one turns out, because this is the front, the back you can see the colors a little bit better. I don't know if this project, this t-shirt, will be me. If I saw this in a shop, I wouldn't buy this. But I have the yarn, I like knitting it, so I'm going to make it and I'll see if I wear it. Worst case scenario, I will gift it to someone who likes oversized cropped t-shirts. Yeah, it will be fine. The yarn that I'm using is a combination. This is Lan Grossa Dodici. Dodici means 12 in Italian, doesn't it? Dodici? I feel like. So this is a blend of 65% cotton, 25% viscose and 10% linen. And it's really soft. I think it will have a lovely drape. It will grow. So I cast it on size 3. And then I will see with the yoke, when knitting in a car, if I feel like it's deep enough, if it's wide enough, I don't know. That's color number 1. The ribbing I will do with this color. It's the same yarn, but in a navy color, just for the neck ribbing and the sleeve, and if I have enough yarn for the body. And my other stripe will be this Katia linen yarn, and it's 53% cotton and 47% linen. So this is really more tough to the touch because of the linen. And as I told previously, this is the yarn, the bright aqua turquoise blue color. I had this in stash, but not enough for a t-shirt. So I wanted a color to go with this that like mutes it and makes it less pop. So this, I don't know if you can see it. This will be the color choice. I don't love it, to be honest. But I'm going to knit it and I'll see. Or worst case scenario, maybe the gifting is maybe the better option, or I will wear it as a t-shirt like at home to lounge around in, and then it will get stained because all my shirts I lounge around in will get stained, but at least I will wear it. And it's happy color, so that's nice. those are all the things I'm working on. It's still quite a bit, but some of them are on hold, but I still wanted to show you because I started them and I'm really excited about them. And the last thing I want to show you is some new yarn, because I talked about that last time when I had to buy the Tynn Linea from Sandnes garn. I bought 3 skeins, by the way. I had to pay shipping costs, and I'm the type of person that fills up the basket to the point I don't have to pay shipping costs. But the thing I fell in love with ended up being way more than that. And that is from Sandnes garn, cardigan. I haven't used it at all previously, but I'm curious and I want to try different yarns. So this is the color. On the website it was called Happy Blue, I believe. Vrolijk blauw. The color code is 6046, if you're curious. And I bought a sweater quantity, so I believe 12 skeins. So I have that already lying around for the winter time, and I really want to make something this color blue, and I like that with like light color jeans. So this is 100% Norwegian wool. 50 grams is 91 meters. So yeah, I'm really curious. It says needle size 3.5 to 4, but this feels more thick. I believe this is just DK weight, but a little bit thicker. And I'm thinking about maybe making the Ingrid sweater with this. Or Petite Knit is coming out with, I believe it's called the Storm sweater, and it just looks, it's on my wish list to knit for this winter, because I love textured sweaters. Okay, ramble here. I already made the sweater number 18 by My Favorite Things Knitwear in a dark navy blue kind of color. Beautiful color. And I love that sweater. I really want to make it again with another color. And I used drops Lima and Kid Silk, but I really hate mohair, so it is a little bit itchy. I love wearing the sweater because it feels like I'm the cool girl in my own made sweater, and I feel like when I'm at work, people can see like, oh, that's a beautiful sweater, and I'm thinking like, yes, I made that. So it's a really beautiful sweater with a lot of positive ease, and I love it. It was really easy to make because it's a texture of just knits and pearls. Yeah, would definitely make again and want to make it again. Probably not next winter, this winter, because I have so much ideas. And the Ingrid sweater is also on my wish list for like the last year. So that has priority. And I love that texture. But you also have the Guernsey sweater, which I love. I believe that's from Sandnes garn. And now the Storm sweater is coming out. And I like the Salty Day sweater by Kutova Kika. So I like my textured sweaters. And that's when I used to buy sweaters in store, because I don't want to buy sweaters all that much anymore because I can make them and I'm spending enough money on my yarn anyway, so I better make sweaters that I want to wear, and that's enough. I have enough. But when I used to buy sweaters in stores, it's always in one solid color. Maybe a stripe? Well, no. Mostly just one solid color and then beautiful details, for example, like in texture or a little bit of pattern. But I'm not of the colorworks, and I want to make a colorwork sweater sometimes, like the old school Norwegian type of yoke. It's so cool if I can make that myself. Maybe I will do that this year, maybe next year, I don't know. I want to make that, but that's not really my style. I like solid color, but with some interest. So these textured sweaters are just perfect for me, I feel. So yeah, and I want to make the Elizabeth blouse, but that's a little bit more of a thinner knit, I feel like. So that's more like an autumn fall knit. And this is for winter time. Yeah, don't know exactly what I want to make with this, but it's going to be beautiful, I know. So yeah, I'm going to let you go. I've rambled long enough, and it's time for me to pack all my knitting stuff up, kick a skein, and just edit this video. Hopefully right now, yeah, I should be able to do that and knit a little bit more. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next podcast or knitting video. Have a nice day and see you next time. Bye bye.